welcome to the December 8th Northwest Local School District Board of Education meeting being held at Colerain High School. I invite everyone to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance in honor of our flag and our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Amy, can you take roll call?
Ms. Slattery?
Here.
Mr. Heather?
Here.
Mr. Detzel?
Here.
Mr. Gilbert?
Here.
Mrs. Talby?
Here. And I will read our mission statement. The Northwest Local School District will create a responsive learning community where all students are valued, challenged, and guided along a pathway to success. And could I get a motion and a second for approval of the agenda?
Second.
Any questions?
Maybe there's going to be just a second delay here.
All right, and that passes without opposition.
So tonight is an exciting night because we are recognizing a lot of student participants in athletics and music programs. And so I'm going to ask Jake Kuhnlein, our Director of Student Services, to facilitate the presentations tonight. But before that, I'm going to ask that the board go down to the front row because part of our appreciation that we like to show is to shake hands with all the kids to congratulate them. So we'll move down to the front row as they set up for the presentations.
Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Good to see everyone. Again, my name's Jake Kuhnlein. I'm the Director of Student Services. I'll just give some logistical updates on how this will go while our board members are coming and taking their seats. I'll share a few remarks, and then I'll turn it over to our athletic directors and administrators because I am the least important person in this presentation and recognition tonight. But just want to say good evening to our board members, our athletic directors, our coaches, our families, our staff members, and most importantly tonight, our student athletes and student musicians and competitors. Tonight, we'll do the following. We'll have each school come up with our middle schools first, White Oak, then Pleasant Run Middle, then Colerain Middle, and then we'll finish with Northwest High School and Colerain High School. Our ADs or principals and assistant principals will do a short overview of the programs and introduce coaches. Coaches will then do a short overview of the highlights of their season. After that, we'll bring up each individual competitor for that particular sport because they'll be lined up right here for that sport. They'll come up, get a certificate, and stand up at the front. After every participant of that sport or group is up the front, we'll then just give a thunderous, really loud applause for that whole group or that whole sport so that everyone feels the love. After that, we'll take a quick picture, and then our teammates and participants will come back this way, shake our board members' hands, and then head back up to their seats, okay? We ask, if possible, for all schools and families and participants tonight to remain until the end of the presentation so that every single student athlete or student musician feels the exact same love as the very first school and sport tonight. Okay, so thank you so much for doing that. I won't speak very long, but if you're a sport fan at all, you know that we're capping off a pretty disappointing weekend for many sports in the greater Cincinnati and Ohio area. If you are a UC basketball fan, you left kind of sad. If you're a Xavier fan, you can just be quiet for a minute about that. If you're a Bengals fan, you watched the Bengals go on the road and have a really disappointing loss away. If you are an Ohio State football fan, you were shocked to see them lose to Indiana. If you live in Indiana, you can also just be quiet for 1 second. I'm looking at you, Lori. Really? St. X lost to Olentangy in the state championships, and the list could go on. But I was talking with a young man at one of our schools on Friday, and we were talking through some decisions and some choices, and the ultimate outcome of our conversation was just talking about how we have the opportunity to learn far more from our mistakes or our setbacks or our failures than we do from our victories or our wins or our successes if we allow it to be so. And that ultimately the only person responsible for writing the next chapter after a loss or a setback is that person. And so as we think about athletics and music and competitive music programs, we of course will always be about winning, and I can't wait for a time very soon when we're on that field in Canton instead of St. X. But we also celebrate the progress and the learning that happens because these programs exist. Or as Matt Stoynoff said to me today, it's not for everyone, and it's really easy to be average. And the people that are here today choose not to be average. The people that are here in this room tonight choose to work hard. They choose to make risks. They choose to compete in whatever it is that they compete in. And we're just really proud of all of them for that. So I will allow our teams and our schools to share the details of all of the successes that were the fall season. But ultimately, we're just really proud that we as a district and as a community and as schools provide these incredible opportunities for our students. So thanks for being here tonight. We're going to make it feel really great for our kids because every kid deserves to feel like a champion. So thanks so much. I'm going to turn it over to White Oak Middle School.
So at this time, if you are here as a White Oak student being represented, if we can have you kind of line up on the side over here. We'll call you out. We'll give you the recognition you deserve as you make your way over there. I just want to say, as my third year as athletic director at White Oak Middle School, one of the things I really love and appreciate about this position is having the opportunity to see new students come in every year who are interested and excited, passionate about trying something, sometimes that they've never tried before, sometimes they're trying something brand new, and really finding a passion for it. And then as they move on to the 8th grade year, they begin to continue to build and develop the skills and start making their plans for how they want to continue on into high school and beyond. So as was said, we're here to recognize the accomplishments, the great things that a lot of our players have done. So we're going to keep this short and sweet, kind of like our nominees, our recipients today. So we're going to start with our cross country. For our season MVP, we have Clara Enterline. And Clara McCoy. All right, for football. So our unique kind of situation is for football, White Oak Middle School and Colerain Middle School, we combine our teams, we kind of work together, play through the seasons. And so we're really excited to be able to nominate for 8th grade, who we normally oversee for Colerain Middle School. And Colerain Middle School's 7th grade coaches nominated one of our players to be the 7th grade season MVP, who has been doing a great job continuing to do things for our school in terms of sports. So Philip Schulman, come on down. All right. And then for volleyball, another great season this year for volleyball. I'm going to call you up as you get here. Some of you weren't able to make it. I'll do my best. For our 8th grade most improved player, Brooklyn Doherty. Not here today. Our 7th grade MVP, Jenna Mangold. Our 8th grade best server of the season, Vanessa Miller. The 7th grade Team Spirit Award, always bringing that positivity, Melanie Thoney. And then for our 7th grade best server, Peyton Suter. Just want to say, again, thank you all for your hard work this season. You really represented yourselves, your families, your schools with pride, and we absolutely appreciate that. All right, and then at this time, we'd like to welcome our esteemed colleagues from Pleasant Run Middle School to come on up.
Can you touch them? Good evening. We would first like to invite our football team up to recognize their accomplishments. Oh. Our football coaches are going to come up and say a few words before we give out the awards.
Well, it truly is a privilege to be back up here 2 years in a row with this group of kids. You know, we won it last year by blowing everybody out. And then this year, you know, it was a little bit more, we're very competitive, where you get to see how life is. You don't always, life is you know, valleys, you know, up and downs, you know, so them getting to see what we had to go through this year and still being able to come back amongst this district and say that we were champions again is truly enjoyable, and we are very proud of these guys. And I'd like to give them a hand. And I will say one more thing that has to be true. We came back and we did win the league this year, but it wouldn't be right if we did not acknowledge Harrison Wildcats, because we were co-champs. So we were champs, but we were the co-champs. And Harrison, you know, we got to give them their props too.
All right, for Lineman of the Year, Chris Lawson. Offensive MVP, Jaden Brown. Defensive MVP, Isaiah Freeland. Ironman Award, Shantez Garrett. Overall Team MVP, Malik Rhodes. Alrighty, thank you to our football players. We are now going to recognize our golf team. Zachary Glace for best effort. Cash Lopez for most improved. And Ethan Singley for most amazing putt. Thank you to our golf team. I'm now going to invite Coach Stevens to talk about our volleyball team.
Good evening. This year, I coached 7th grade, and started out a little bit rough, but we ended with a bang. 8th graders, last year I coached STEM, and they did a fantastic job this year. And I am proud of these girls. Can't look, waiting for it for next year.
All right, highest percentage setter, Maya Wallace. Best sportsmanship for 7th grade, Madison Allen. Most consistent front row blocker, Zoe Duran. Most consistent serves, Delana Garr. Best utility player, Amaya Green. Floor captain for 8th grade, Brianna Lang. Most consistent back row player, Brooklyn Loggle. Most improved, Violet Lay. Most points scored, Leilani McGee. Most improved, 7th grader, Deanna Rogers. And most spirited, Bailey Young. Thank you to our volleyball team. We would now like to recognize our cross-country team. Our school's fastest time of 14 minutes and 13 seconds, Jace Reigert. I'm now going to invite Mr. Greenwood to recognize our outstanding musicians.
Hello, I'm Mr. Greenwood, band guy. This year, the marching band broke their school record highest score twice, and we've tripled the amount of students involved in district honor band and doubled the amount in other honor bands like the Wright State University honor band. So I'm gonna recognize these guys. First is Mr. Francisco Ramirez Garcia. He actually gets two, outstanding participant in the marching band and outstanding participant in the Northwest High School Jazz Ensemble. Mr. Asa Craig as an absolutely most outstanding performer on our first concert. Mr. Antonio Calcano de la Cruz twice for being selected to the Northwest High School Jazz Band and for participating in the Mid-States Finals competition. Ms. Gabriela Coronado Perez, first for being a rookie member of the Color Guard, but also taking first place in 2 competitions at our shows this year. And finally, Miss Alexis Britton for participating in the District 14 Honor Band and also nominated for the Wright State Honor Band as well.
If the Colerain athletes, I can't do this. If the Colerain athletes could please come up so we can recognize them. I'm a gym teacher, I cannot use that. Colerain Middle School had an exciting fall season. We had a record number of athletes, so we were very excited for that. We also have a boys and girls basketball game tonight, so we do have some athletes that are missing. If y'all could hold your applause while I announce the 3 individuals that are here, but I will also recognize the ones that are not able to make it. Our cross-country runner, JJ Noland. JJ had an excellent season. Every meet he got better and PR'd, and that was very exciting for us. So way to go, JJ. So he's being recognized for cross-country. Go ahead and stand up there. Jacob Burleson was our golfer. He is not here this evening. He was a leader on the team, offered help to others, and really was a great example for our less experienced golfers. Next, we have Ava Cruz, is an 8th grade volleyball player. She is also not here this evening. She was an addition to Colerain Middle School, and you would never know that. This was her first year being there, but she worked very hard on the court, had a very positive attitude, and was supportive to her teammates, and made great relationships with her teammates. So that was exciting for us. The volleyball program is bright. It has a bright future here at Colerain High School. We had wonderful participation. Natalie Johnson, she's our 7th grader, showed great leadership and sportsmanship and teamwork throughout the season. She advocated for herself and was motivated throughout the season. Thank you, Natalie. Mariana Pompa is our cheerleader that is being recognized, and she got the Spirit Award, obviously, because she was a cheerleader. She had great effort and energy, and so she's currently cheering at our boys' game. Jaden Billups, our 7th grade boys football player to be recognized. Great leader, led by example, hard worker, and exactly the type of guy that Colerain High School is going to be looking for in 2 years, or in another year. So, here we go. And then the last guy that we'd like to recognize is Lloyd Trotter. I don't know if he's made it. It was halftime at the game when I left, so he may still be up there. But I'm going to read his whole thing, even though we were given 2 minutes. It's like the Emmys. They gave you 2 minutes. Everybody's gone over it. I'm trying not to. But Lloyd, this is Lloyd's 3rd nomination since he's been at Colerain Middle School, which is just, excellent all in itself, because he is that guy that Colerain High School wants, that we want, and that all of you want. Maybe your daughters to date. He is a wonderful young man. Sorry, Lloyd, if his parents are here, sorry. But Lloyd Trotter is a true definition of a team player. His work ethic and dedication to the game did not go unnoticed. He showed up to practice ready to learn and help the team get better.
displayed integrity by doing what's right when no one is watching. Lloyd is an unselfish player who is willing to do what is asked of him. He gave his best every single play and every single down and often made great plays on both sides of the ball. He made coaching him look easy because he never complained. Lloyd, we are so thankful that you are here. And I got to tell you, I watched him in the basketball game, and that boy is dripping in sweat, working his butt off. So he's just a definition of a Colerain Cardinal. So congratulations to Lloyd Trotter. They took her. She did. Oh, shit. You got her picture?
Good evening. My name is Kevin Well. I'm Assistant Athletic Director at Northwest High School. I just want to thank the board and administration for this evening. At Northwest High School, we've many accomplishments this year that I'll let some of our coaches briefly talk about, but many successes that we've had, and we had a positive fall season. With that, I'm going to go ahead and call up our boys soccer coach, Mitch Morgan. If I can I get all the Northwest athletes to line up over here, please?
All right. I'm Mitch Morgan, the boys soccer coach. It was another record-breaking and memorable season for our boys soccer team. We finished with an overall record of 12-2-2 and made it to our second consecutive district semifinal and only the third in the school's history. Before falling to the defending state champs, 2-1 in a pretty hard-fought game, so proud of the boys this year. Aside from that, we accomplished the best goal differential in school history, plus 49, with 61 goals scored and only 12 against. And most importantly, our departing senior class who are receiving these awards tonight, they finished with the best four-year record in school history with 46 wins, 15 losses, 46 wins, 15 losses, and only 5 ties, and one individual school record set by David Pineda with 10 shutouts. They leave behind a lasting legacy and impact on our program, and they made sure Northwest stays a force in boys soccer in the city. So I'd like to recognize, first up, Pape Dieng getting the Sportsmanship Award. Dylan Fry, Ironman Award. Pablo Gonzalez, Enforcer Award. Justin Martinez, Playmaker Award. Jacob Ochoa, Architect Award. David Pineda, Iron Wall Award. Ben Sander, Anchor Award. And lastly, Parker Seibel, Braveheart Award.
All right, next coach I would like to bring up is Steve Knoll, our girls tennis coach.
Hello. My girls tennis season had a good season this year. We had ended up with 5 returning seniors, and most of the girls I'd known for a long time, and just wonderful young ladies. I will say this is my 8th year, 16th season doing tennis, and as many of you know, the difficulty of sometimes being a Northwest High School tennis player is, in my 16 seasons, I've never had a student show up to as a ninth grader, a tennis player. We kind of make tennis players, which is what we do, and I love it, and they get better. I get to watch them improve. We do get to, whether we want to or not, see some girls and play some girls who it seems like came out of the womb playing tennis, so that makes it tough on these girls. But they work hard and they get better, and I just love them, and we love doing it. Had a good season. I think we had 5 or 6 wins. We had some good wins over in Norwood and Hamilton and Middletown. I'll just point out the senior night win over West Claremont was nice. We have 7 girls on the court, and the 5 that were seniors on the court were the ones that won their matches, which enabled us to win that team match. It was kind of a good way to end the season. So again, very proud of all of them. The ones that are here today, we have I think 4 awards to give out today. The Robin Burbrink, if you knew her, she taught at our school forever. Robin Burbrink Sportsmanship Award goes to Emma Alexander. The Page Award is going to the most improved player this year, kind of by far, was Zoe Kohler. And then we had co-winners of our Knight Award, was those that best represent what we want a Knight athlete to be, and those are Veen Wynn and Taylor Waka. Thank you.
All right, next I would like to bring up Gabe Warner to represent boys and girls golf.
Hello. Our boys and girls golf teams are only 2 years old, so we're steadily showing improvement. The girls team is prepared next year to participate in the sectional tournament for the first time, and our boys this year improved to a golfer, improved their scores by at least 8 strokes. And if you play golf and by the real rules, you understand how much of an improvement 8 strokes is off of last year's score. So I'll call each one of these kids up individually. Delilah Loggins for most improved. Grace Tannehill Team Spirit Award. Isabella Lopez is getting 2. She got Most Coachable and Leadership Award. And then we have 4 boys. Kaysen Roth gets the Team Spirit Award. Levi Engelman, Most Improved. Logan Fraser, the Leadership Award. And then we had 1 senior on the team this year. If you know Ryan, he's a most outstanding human being, and he's going to go on to do great things. Super proud of this young man. Ryan Lopez gets the Most Coachable Award.
All right, next coach I'd like to bring up is Brandon Schoen, our head football coach.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Excuse me. To start off, I just want to recap our season. We went 4-6 this year. Laid a good foundation for the future. A lot of the guys that we'll call out tonight are the guys that have been playing for 3 or 4 years on varsity and kind of set the tone for who we are as a program. First off, I'm going to start with Jalen Lilly. He was first team all SWAC Defensive Player of the Year, first team all district, first team all city. Next, I want to bring up Carson Curry. Carson Curry was second team All SWAC, honorable mention All District, and a 3-year starter for us. Next, I have Parker Siebel. Parker is the record holder for 48-yard field goal, longest in school history. He's also received multiple offers this offseason. He just received his 5th offer today from Capital University. He's got a couple from Thomas More, Mount St. Joe, Wabash, and many more to come. He's got a very bright future ahead of him. He was also first team All SWAC and honorable mention All District.
All right, next sport we'll go with is girls volleyball. We also have Coach Sally Hooker here. She is a first-year head coach for us this year and did an outstanding job. This team improved greatly when Coach Sally took over. The improvement from the beginning of the year, and she got started pretty late in the game, but she did well as far as developing these young ladies. And they definitely got better from the beginning to the end of the season. The first one is Malia McClennan for leadership, best sportsmanship. Ava Haynes, team MVP. And Jasmine Strong, most improved. Our next sport will be boys and girls cross country. These two individuals have definitely improved this year from where they started to where they are now, to making it all the way to the regionals. And the first one I'd like to recognize is Yusuf Elkhalif Lee. Sorry, I know I butchered that. Yusuf was a regional qualifier. Yusuf. And our second one is Lila Taylor, regional qualifier. All right, and our last sport is our girls soccer team. Coach White couldn't be here tonight, but she definitely wanted me to acknowledge these 3 ladies that we have here this evening. All 3 came in when Coach White came in, and there's much love, she says, to all 3 of you, and you will be greatly missed. Also, second year in a row where they've had a winning season. Third year, second year. Third year, that's right. Thank you. But they definitely made improvements throughout the team. Definitely represented Northwest in a fine manner. She was very disappointed that she could not make it tonight. But our first one is Jayla Elam, defensive MVP. Madison Hayes. Zanaya Henderson, most improved. And J.L. Hill, outstanding MVP, couldn't be here tonight. Thank you.
All right, Colerain High School athletes, if you guys can come on down, please. First and foremost, thank you to the administration and board for having this tonight and honoring our fall athletes. So this is always a great night that we look forward to. And again, these are our top athletes in the building, so a lot of them do have winter practice and other things going on, and so most of them are here. We're going to start off with volleyball. So this volleyball season was a very true success. We did win our first round tournament game, got to the second round, and ended up playing a very tough MND team and lost that one. Our first student athlete we would like to recognize, we do our Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award, and that award is to one individual that you would want to recognize your team. If you could pick one student athlete to stand up who has the ability to be a first-team All-League player, but the one who does everything right on our volleyball team, that is Carson Marginson. Up next, we have Lauren White, who was first-team All-GMC. And then Nina Burton, who was second-team All-GMC. All right, thank you, volleyball. The next sport that we will recognize is boys and girls soccer, and we'll do them together. Boys soccer had an amazing season this year. It was their most wins, most goals, most road wins. When we have a tradition here, when you win on the road and you pull into the school, you sing the fight song, and we had to teach our team the fight song. And so it was awesome, and they sung it several times this year. So kicking off boys soccer, our Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award was Tyler Murray. First team All-GMC, Miguel Bartolone. On to girls soccer, Raylan Blackburn Scallion. She was a Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award. Iana Berry, second team All-GMC. And Josie Peters, second team All-GMC. Congratulations, soccer teams. All right, we will move on to football. So our football program is definitely headed in the right direction. We feel really good as a school, a community, about everything that is going on within our football program, and we could not be more excited for the future. So up first, our Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award, Jericho Williams. Jericho is the athlete that every coach inspires to have on their team. He does everything right. He is a student athlete, and we couldn't be more proud of him. And he's picked up a few offers this week, and so we're excited to see where he's going to pick and continue his academic and athletic career. Up next, we have Donovan Chambers. Donovan is at basketball practice, but he was second team All-GMC. Deshaun Flagg Jr., second team All-GMC. Deshaun, again, has picked up several offers in the last few weeks, some big-time Division I schools, and so we are beyond excited to see where he'll land, and we'll be watching him on Saturdays here very soon. And our last one, Roman Gar was second-team All-GMC, our sophomore quarterback. Roman has been recognized as one of the top quarterbacks in his entire class in the state, and so we're beyond excited for him. And again, he's picking up offers right now, and so we're so excited for our football program going forward. Thank you, guys. All right, and our final four athletes we will do together is our cross-country, girls tennis, and boys golf. All right, up first, we will do cross-country. Will Ratz, he was a Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award for boys cross-country.
For our girls cross country, Elise Mainitz, Sportsmanship Steve Shuck Award. Again, for our Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award for girls tennis, Sarah Beth Cruz. And our final athlete here tonight for boys golf, Steve Shuck Sportsmanship Award, Braden Murray.
If we could please just give it up one more time for all of our student athletes and student musicians tonight. From the bottom of my heart, to our board, to our families, to our students, thank you so much for your unwavering commitment to our schools and to our kids. The best is yet to come. Have a great night. We appreciate you so much.
Sorry, didn't mean to fling that at you. She wasn't ready. She got pouring ice.
All right, well, that was an exciting presentation, and it was nice to have so many students recognized for their accomplishments. Next on the agenda, we'll start moving forward with our next presentation, which is a Butler Tech presentation. So I'm going to have Stephanie Mybers, our site supervisor, come up and introduce the program that we're going to hear about tonight. Yeah.
That was really close, sorry. Good evening. Okay, I feel like I'm really far away. Up on the screen, this is the same slide that I showed last time, but I added a couple things towards the top that were basically like the 4 main date options are the Butler Tech application timeline for our campuses, but now we are shifting gears. I think I talked about this last time about how after career days happened in November, we are now focusing on getting our kids into the Northwest local Butler Tech classrooms. So right now, starting December 1st, which is Monday last Monday, until this Friday, we have our new form open to all sophomore families and students for them to sign up to do a field trip. If you're a Northwest student, you do the field trip to go to Colerain to see their Butler Tech programs, and if you're a Colerain student, you can sign up to see, the programs over at Northwest. So that we're calling it like exchange sophomore tours is going to take place on January 8th. And then each high school is either chosen or is choosing. I have one confirmed, and then the other one is still deciding on the date where the kids will actually just stay at their home school and get to tour the programs that are in their own building. So like CHS, for instance, they chose the 6th. So we're going to organize their tours of Colerain High School students to go internally to the Colerain programs, and then Northwest has to pick a date so that their students will internally visit their programs. So on the 8th, the format is basically going to be, just like a regular field trip. Kids get on the bus and they go to the opposite school. They're going to choose up to 2 programs to visit. We decided to go with 2 programs, not 3, to maximize time, because we need to obviously, just for logistics reasons have kids back by lunch and all that, the buses and all of those things. So the teachers decided they would rather have a solid 30, 35 minutes with kids versus 20 minutes of rapid fire going to 3 different programs. And honestly, with there only being 5 at each, we figured 2 out of 5 was, what are the odds that kids are going to see or want to see Cosmo and sports medicine and digital? They're not all super aligned. So we're just going to do 2 programs. And then we added a feature this year, which I'm hoping will go well. We are going to end the tour with a teacher panel. So we're going to basically, this is where we're going to be for the Colerain. We're going to bring all the sophomore students that go on the field trip. Or all the Northwest students that come to Colerain will sit in this auditorium, and we're going to put all the program teachers up on stage. And I'm going to have 4 planned questions that, ask questions about the credentials and the certifications, what sets them apart from, the programs that maybe are at the campus. Do their programs align with any of the campus programs so that students that maybe already applied for campus programs will pique some interest of the programs that are in-house. And then we're going to have the teachers go down the line, answer those questions for the students, then open it up for all students just to ask questions. So it's going to be about a 45-minute, Q&A session at the end for them to kind of just meet the teachers and then see the ones that maybe they didn't get a chance to see. Because as much as in my head, I'm hoping that every kid will get their first and second choice, there may be some kids that don't get in just because there's not enough spots for us to rotate. So it'll just be nice for all students to get to hear the answers from the staff members and just see their faces, connect them to the programs. And then we'll do the same thing for the internal. So Colerain kids will come here and get to ask questions of the Colerain program teachers as well. And then I added a note there for the end of February when the decision day happens. They don't ever give us a hardcore date. Last year I think it was Valentine's Day, just happened to be, but it's always that week, either before President's Day or right around that time. So that's why I put end of March or end of February - March, because I'm not exactly sure when that'll be, but and Brenda, you had mentioned this earlier, so I knew I was going to talk about it tonight, that are when the students all get their decision day email about their Butler Tech Lottery campus invites, we know that there is always some aspect of disappointment for the students that don't get, the lottery choice. Because I think I mentioned this last time I presented that even though students get a first choice, second choice, and third choice, I think it's a hard concept to grasp that my third choice as a student is hundreds of other kids' first choice. So they think in their head, well, man, if I don't get my first or second, I'm going to get my third, right? Well, that third program that they put is probably pretty popular also, and there's probably a wait list for that. So we're really trying to encourage the sophomores that are applying for the off-campus spots to at least put for their second or third choice a Northwest local program so that they can have a chance to find a home. So my intention is after this decision day, 'cause as much as I say that to the families and I say that to the students, it probably won't happen for all of them. They're just gonna say, no, I'm gonna do my top 3 and I'm gonna pick all the campuses, and they won't follow my advice, which is fine. But our hope is that when the decision day happens, I'm going to get the names of all the students that applied and did not get placed, and then we are going to, again, depending on the numbers, is it 30, is it 10? It could be, I don't know how many it's going to be, but my intention is then to get them into the same room, and then we're going to talk about their options. We're going to show them the numbers of our programs in-house, show them what programs have openings, what programs, that align to the things that they potentially were choosing over at the campuses, and my hope is to find a home for all of those students that didn't get picked up. Because at the end of the day, if they're choosing a program off campus, they obviously are interested in career tech. They want something different. And I'm hoping that within the 10 programs that we have at Northwest and Colerain, that we'll find them a home. Between all of those offerings, they'll hopefully, we usually have 1 or 2 that have a wait list, but not clearly as many as the programs as the campuses. So my hope is that scooping all of those kids up that are disappointed and actually putting them in the same room and having conversations, showing them numbers, sending emails to parents, letting them know what programs have openings, and then getting them thrown right back into a program before the end of the school year, and not waiting until the summertime when they're all thinking about it, talking to their friends, and then they come in August And then they run to their counselor and say, I want to find a place. And then we're trying to scramble to change schedules, and then we can't find spots for them. So I'm really hoping to do some front loading of those selections for the students that don't get placed at a campus, and then do that before summertime happens. Yep.
I heard you talk about the kids at Northwestern Colerain. What about the other 4 campuses? When have they had a chance to go up there, or do they have to sign up, or?
You mean when did our students go to the campuses?
Yeah, like the bioscience.
They went in November, so they went November 20th and 21st. So what has happened in the past prior to me becoming satellite supervisor is they did the sophomore tours and career days back to back. And it was always very confusing. And Hamilton has this issue too. So they do the career days, which is Colerain and Northwest students going off campus, and then they also are signing up for the Colerain and Northwest. And there's always confusion as to which one's which. Parents are like, what's career days? Is sophomore tours, which I don't understand why we're doing both. So when I was moved over and I heard that feedback, I was like, well, is there any reason why we have to go in November? You know, when they're going to the campuses and there's lots more hubbub and lots more social media, you know, posting about career days, because I feel like it's not as hyped. You know, my little local, you know, tours aren't going to be as hyped up as all the campuses in Colerain and Northwest. Were like, no, why don't we just wait? So since the deadline isn't until January 31st, I was like, why don't we just push it? And then my hope is that we're going to push it right before the deadline. So that first week of January, it's fresh in their mind. They would have been to our labs and our classrooms last. And then the beauty of the whole process is, and I've put this in all my communications, if 100% of those kids have already put their application in, it is super easy to edit. All you have to go in is you just go into your application, click the little pencil button, and you can change a program, add a program, you know, change the order of your program. So I keep telling kids, you can have applied. I mean, the application's been open since November 1st. So there are 20 kids that have already applied for our internal programs, but there's probably 100 that have applied for the campuses. So we're hoping to kind of, again, get in there at the early January, pique some of their interest, and at least get them to go back into their application and add us. You know, add a Northwest program, add a Colerain program to their choices once they hear. I mean, I asked our EMIS department, what are the odds, like the percentages? Like, do we have data on how many kids ever get their second and third choice? The answer was 5%. That's a really low number. I was like, so I don't think they realize how unlikely it is to get your second and third choice. I mean, you don't want to crush a kid's dream and tell them that, but it is the reality. So our hopes are just to find them a home, find them somewhere where they can, get that career tech education. So if it's 5%, I would like to at least get us on their list of the 1, 2, and 3 to have a chance to find a program that fits their needs.
Well, that figure will go up because we have 3 construction sites going right now.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll have another 700 seats for kids. And, you got to remember, there's 11 school districts that feed into Butler Tech, so there's a lot of kids, across Butler County and us in Hamilton
our hope
County.
is those wait lists will get smaller, because right now the wait list for biomed and
We had to turn
all
away
this.
1,800 applicants last year.
Yep.
And that's one thing school board members from Butler Tech, we were so unhappy about. So as we pushed for these, the bioscience is going to double the number of kids that'll be up there, the aviation at Middletown Airport, and then the AM Hub in Hamilton.
Yep.
So that's going to alleviate some of the problems, so
Yep.
that 5% should
Hopefully.
increase.
Well, the 5% is just their second and third choices.
Right.
It'll definitely help the first choices out big time. Yeah, it's the second and thirds that I get concerned about, because everyone picks such popular programs for all 3 choices. I would like them to just see, if you're going to go into healthcare, why not pick, the Colerain healthcare program also, just in case, just to be safe.
Just so it's just the luck of the draw.
Oh, yeah.
Our superintendent, John Graft, his son didn't even get in.
Yeah.
And
that's the other piece that I don't think everyone realizes how chance it is.
Yeah, I mean, because, a lot of people say, oh, well, superintendent he didn't get in, his name didn't get picked. So it is just the luck of the draw.
Yep. Any other questions about just the process in general before I introduce my teacher? So the program I decided to highlight this evening is our financial services program. This is, again, the same slide as last time. I just kept it just in case it came up if anyone was asking, which programs are at each high school. And I actually sent the email today. I took advantage of the Google form that was filled out for career days, like when they signed up to go to all the campuses. And I was like, you know what? If all these sophomores are interested in campus programs, why not reach out to them about our program? So I sent an email today to all the sophomore families and students that signed up for the campus career days, and I included this image just because, again, I don't think a lot of people know which programs are offered at each high school. Like, they might see a menu of the programs that we offer, but I think there is some confusion about, like, oh, I thought all of them were offered at each high school. Why can't my student go to, they want to do sports medicine, but they're a Colerain student. Why do they have to go to Northwest? But this, at least, is kind of a visual that shows them which programs are where. So I did attach this to the email that I sent out to all the sophomore families today. So I think the next slide, financial services. I have Mr. Usman Ba here with me. He was going to have a couple students, but I think they were at the awards earlier and they didn't stay. Like, their families were like, we're leaving. And then he had a couple kids that had work tonight. But Mr. Ba is going to speak on behalf of his financial services program. It is a 2-year program that is offered at Northwest High School.
Hello, good evening, guys. How we doing? No, thank you. I actually didn't even expect it was going to be a big room and just speaking to you guys. But I actually don't know even exactly what to speak about. This is my second year in this program, and I took over for Peter Clark mid-November last year. And I don't know, I remember Daryl, a few of the superintendents, few guys here from last year, pretty much giving me the support. Christopher Trentman giving me the support that I needed to actually take over a new program that was 2 years, and was able to recruit some of those students for my juniors into my senior program. And really what we need this year is not necessarily even a need, is as teaching financial services, the roadblocks we end up actually hitting is teaching everything as a simulation, and like, students can't open up bank accounts unless we do have the credit union program, and that is a bit separate. But actually having students open up a Robinhood account, actually having students opening up a bank account, doing these real world simulations, so everything is not just in the textbooks. We want like real education, real learning. So I know I did run up to this with some people in legal and finance when we tried to create an actual real-world business within the classroom and simulate it and sell products. But a lot of the roadblocks is, hey, this is a public institution, mingling of funds and all these things. You run up into these roadblocks where education just becomes a simulation. Especially in this career technical space, maybe this is a longer conversation moving on, is how do we create maybe a separate spot or just where students can actually sell their products, where they can actually not just participate in BPA, which we have, but even BPA is a simulation and not necessarily real world hands-on. When they create products or they have a service that they want to give to the community, they should be able to sell those products, and me as a teacher be there to support them in that process. So I've loved the students, I love the program. It's been an amazing 2 years so far. And as I stay here and grow with this program, and I want more students to participate in this program. This is kind of what Stephanie and I've been working together on, is students don't really know me, it's a new program, and financial services just feels so like, hey, I don't want to deal with that. Maybe numbers, accounting, I don't want to deal with that. But really, I want this program to be a hands-on simulation in real world. Like, hey, you can come here with an idea of a product, and I help you go from ideation to execution to selling and servicing your community. And as we grow, I would love the support of the board of directors to really help bring the classroom education into the real world. And I think that will maximize the program if students can see, hey, I came to this class with this idea, and from this one idea I was able to make money, or go start a lawn care service business, or We have 3D printers in the buildings. We have Cricut machines. We have screen printings, but we stop because we can't necessarily sell these products, right? So students get discouraged, right? They create these simulations, they create the ads, they create the product mock-ups, and then it just ends up becoming a lesson. So I just love all the support. There's not really much I can say really about it. It's just a matter of growing the program. Right now I have about 25, 30 students total, from my intro class to the juniors and senior class. Right now I don't have actually any sophomores, which is what we're working on right now to recruit a lot more sophomores in the program. We have intro students, and taking some of those intro students, hopefully next year they come back. But if a 2-year program, we can really do a lot with these students and start something and grow it and actually have them make money, go into a bank account, and then they can watch that grow as they go into college or follow a career technical program with Butler Tech or AmHub or something like that. But yeah, this is kind of what we've been working on, and we love the support so far, and Stephanie's been amazing. All of you guys have been amazing, so thank you very much. Oh, yes. Anyone have any questions? Yes. All right,
Is there
great.
any opportunity that they could sell their products like at a school fundraiser, anything like that? I mean, is that legally allowed?
Not that so Ms. Tony Smith, she runs the other business program next to me. She does have this in-class lunch day, but students are not really creating their own. They're creating the products in class, maybe like a candle, that they make the candles in the classroom, they do some product markups on it, and then they sell it. I'm a bit more different on the side where it's more technical way. I built AI products, apps, and it's not a one-to-one, right? You don't just create one product and you sell it, right? It's a service, you have to market it, and you're targeting people just outside of your community as well, or outside of your school building. And her class, you can't really reach people that's not inside the classroom or inside the building. What we really want to do is target the world. Anyone with an internet connection, and you can purchase something online, you should be able to purchase a product that a student has created. If it's an app, if it's a clothing brand, if it's anything really, right? If it's a service that they can go to your home and inspect something, they should be able to see the fruits of their labor rather than just being kind of closed off to the network in their school, which is just a lunchroom. And that is, hey, lunchroom time, we have 1 hour. Students will come in, you pitch them, or you create some sort of marketing scheme during that time. When they buy during that time, that is the end all be all. And I want to expand it a lot more to reach outside, because that is a business, right? Business is 24 hours. It's not just when you close your computer, it ends. It's really, how do you reach out to your customer base? How do you build that community? How do you reach after someone purchased your product? How do you keep them? How do you keep the retention, right? So that's kind of where I want to be for the next few years while I'm here, is really expand the students' horizon outside of the classroom, and really, we are in the digital space, and students should be able to participate in that.
We can talk about options and different things that we can try to brainstorm.
Absolutely, I would love that, and whatever we can do, I'm here. I'm experimenting as well, because clearly this is my first year, so.
Talk about your partnership with Jeremy over at
Oh, yeah.
like we have the entrepreneurship program over there, so it's been, he meets regularly with
Yeah.
Jeremy about getting the students in connection with him, so when the students do come to him with an idea that is like something that could become a business.
Yeah.
Butler Tech does have, the outreach of, so he does bring the kids over to the entrepreneurship center, like he's taken them over there for a field trip already, so
Yeah.
we do have some
Yeah.
connections into that area. It's just not as easy. It's probably the hardest of all the things like to do with business. And we went through legal round and round with Paul.
Yeah.
There are just a lot of limitations to kids having businesses and making money. I mean, again, it's a nonprofit, it's a school, so
Yeah.
but having the connection with DRL and the entrepreneurship center over there with Jeremy West has been great. It's just hard to get
Yeah.
the word out. It's hard to be able to show the the fruition when it does happen, to be able to market that to students. And then you can talk about like the partnership with St. X and
Oh, yes.
speakers coming in
Yeah, so we're trying to do a few things, right, to allow the students to, at least even if it's not just fully sell the products, simulate real world. So Jeremy West at the Entrepreneurship Lab has been an amazing partner. We went with it. He came to our classroom. We went to the Entrepreneurship Lab. Students have created mock-up businesses. They've created T-shirt brands. We've done a lot in terms of simulating the business creation aspect of it. Everything is always great, from ideation to product, let's say, first sample of the product, right? And then you get stuck on how far can we sell this actual product. For example, we also have Say Next coming actually this Friday. Keith, who runs the Square One program with Say Next, he pretty much invests in high school programs, high school entrepreneurship programs, and the students come and they pitch and they receive money to actualize these businesses. So I've been working with him. He's come to my classroom already. He's coming again to fully workshop with the students to prepare for the pitch competitions January 24th of this year. So if any of you want to come, open invite. And we are doing those idea simulations. So he's going to come, look at the students' pitch decks, look at the business's viability in terms of his actual competition. Does it make sense for his competition? So we are in that process, and it's been actually amazing. Jeremy West has been an amazing partner with us. Everyone really, Paul, a few of even legal, everyone is trying really to find this roundabout way to actually allow students, once they get the product prototype, how can they even think about it in terms of even a marketing standpoint from my mind is, if a student has created a successful business coming from a Butler Tech program, that is marketing not just even from the phone, for the entire district, for the entire kind of nation, really, right? If a student, hey, I built this program inside of my classroom, I was able to ideate it, get the support to create the product mock-up, and sell this online on TikTok, on Instagram, on Shopify. Other students will say, whoa, I have an idea for another business. I think I can do this. It makes it much more approachable and easy to do rather than, hey, I have another clothing brand. And I was trying to avoid the clothing brand so much. I was like, because that is always the first step, or where they pigeonhole students is, here's a Cricut machine. Print a word on a T-shirt and try to sell it. It's like, no. There are so much other businesses like Riplet. You can create AI products. You can create apps that you can sell, services that you can sell. You can create. There's a host of different businesses, especially in the world of AI, where we can capitalize on this and allow students to actually sell their services online and communicate and talk with people. They don't necessarily even have to go across the country. You have a Zoom call. You have Teams. So really create this network. And right now it's been a great support, to be honest, is really trying to get over that hump of allowing students to actually make some money inside of the classroom structure. Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, thank you for your presentation.
No,
Sounds
thank you
like a
guys
lot
so
of
much. I
great
appreciate
things to
everything.
come.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll move on to student achievement report with Nicole.
All right. All right, we're going to start with academics at Houston Early Learning Center. Preschoolers at Houston are learning about the study of space, aka astronomy. As part of their learning, students created their own 2D paper rocket ships and diagrams of the solar system. When asked what they've learned, students shared other planets circle the sun, stars are in the sky, and the moon is beautiful. And at Pleasant Run Elementary, PRE would like to recognize several students who have completed all of their grade level work in Core 5 with a mastery score, meaning they've met the highest expectation for their level and are ready to move up to the next one. Core 5 is our literacy program used to help students build reading skills. Congratulations to DeMarco Sims, Hadley Ellen, Blessing McKendy, Anaya Joy Hunley, Joshua Hernandez, Aurora Lauren, and William Erskine. Overall, in the month of November, 84 students passed at least one Core 5 mission, and 96 total missions were completed. At Montfort Heights Elementary, kindergartners wrapped up their stories unit by exploring a classic tale, The Three Little Pigs, and learning about characters, settings, and events. Principal Mr. Richmond narrated the story while students built their own straw, stick, and brick houses. The fun continued when Mr. Whitaker made a surprise appearance as the big bad wolf, testing the strength of their creations. I was hoping for a picture of that. And over at Struble Elementary, we are recognizing one student per grade level each week for their hard work and progress in Core 5. Congratulations to the most recent honorees, Janiyah Foster, Matthew Urias, Jeremiah Hunter, Ayan Darji, Josiah Thompson, and Darius Brumfield. Struble kindergartners students are showing tremendous growth. At the start of the year, only 21% were working at grade level in Core 5, and we are now up to 81% that have reached grade level performance. Across the school, students have earned an impressive 957 Core 5 certificates for completing one or more levels. And at Pleasant Run Middle School, 8th graders in Miss Daumeyer's science class kicked off their genetics unit with a hands-on introduction to dominant and recessive traits, including using gummy bears. Students explored questions like, how can a green and yellow gummy parent produce a whole generation of gummies that are the same color? At Corrine High School, the Ohio Guaranteed Admissions Program guarantees the top 10% of each graduating high school class undergraduate admission to every Ohio public college and university, as well as participating Ohio private colleges and universities. Corrine High School was able to recognize 40 students for this distinguished program. In citizenship, Corrine Elementary recognized 44 students for perfect attendance this school year. Attendance plays a critical role in academic success, and today Corrine Elementary maintains a 94.26 attendance rate. They are proud of the positive strides they are making towards their attendance goals. And Struble Elementary first graders in room 213 met their goal of classroom compliments recently by working together to follow the Blue Jay Way, and they chose to earn a visit from Teddy, Dr. Holloway's bearded dragon. It was very popular at Struble, actually. At White Oak Middle School, 3 8th grade student council members were selected to be featured speakers in our 6th grade Thankful for You assembly. Isabella Rodenberg, Morgan Rice, and Ryan Jackson. And White Oak honored 31 November Warriors of the Month who were celebrated with a pizza with the principal on Friday, November 21st. And finally, with community service, Corrine and Northwest, before Thanksgiving break, had several Kiwanis members participate in the Give Back Day. They cleaned up their yards of 4 elderly homeowners and picked up over 74 bags of leaves. And the Exchange Club of Northwest Cincinnati selected Junior Shelby Powell as the Student of the Month. She, along with her parents, were recognized at the Student of the Month breakfast. Students were selected for their positive involvement in school and their community. So congratulations again to all of the students that we've recognized this evening. Thank you.
All right. Next up, we'll have the Butler Tech update with Jim.
The only thing I have is just to let the board members know, if you guys want to go out and see the construction on the 3 different areas up in Butler, just give me a call and let me know, and we can set up a thing to get you in there and check that out. It's pretty exciting that, they're doing these 3 construction projects all at the same time. So just let me know.
All right, thank you. And we'll have Mark's last legislative update tonight.
Kind of happy about that. The House and Senate passed the following bills that now move to the governor for approval or modification. House Bill 124 would modify the process for property tax sales assessment ratio studies. House Bill 10, which would require public school boards of education and ODEW to adopt policies prohibiting the purchase of cultivated protein food products or the food misbranded as a meat or egg product. And as you think about this, I think it's the gel on top of the Vienna sausages is what they're talking about. House Bill 186 would cap tax growth for districts on 20 mil floor to inflation through a retroactive tax credit and provide funds to reimburse the school districts for some losses in 2026 and 2027. House Bill 309 allows the county budget commissions, the CBC, to reduce millage on certain voter-approved tax levies, including debt levies, if they find it necessary or prudent to do so. House Bill 335 would cap the inflationary growth on all inside millage beginning in tax year 2026. House Bill 114 would alter the age requirements for kindergarten admission, and the governor vetoed Senate Bill 50, which would change the work hours for children under the age of 16. A lot going on.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Any reports from women's organizations? Okay. All right. And the Northwest Board of Education welcomes the opportunity to listen to district residents' comments, suggestions, and concerns on educational issues. It's important to remember that the board conducts our meetings in public, but the meetings are not public forums. The intent of the meetings is to allow the board to complete needed board business. As per policy 0169.1, each submission will be given 3 minutes to address agenda items of any topic during community comments. However, no more than 15 minutes will be devoted to public participation unless the board votes unanimously to continue discussion. No response to the submission will occur from board members or district administration during this time. Once the 15-minute time frame is over, appropriate follow-up by district administration may occur at a later time if warranted. There are no public comments tonight.
So for the consent items tonight, we'll start with Human Resources.
We seek approval for the following: 7 resignations, 7 retirements, 5 initial appointments, 4 change in status, revised job description, and various supplemental items, leaves of absence, and a military bonus.
We have several donations tonight. Kroger's donated Pez. Holly Flowers made a monetary donation to Montford Heights Elementary. Sonia and Mark Heitman made a monetary donation to Coleraine High School. Ameristop donated food to Taylor Elementary. Heather Cope donated library books to Pleasant Run Elementary. And Daniel Lawson donated library books to Coleraine Middle School. We also have vendor contracts for special education, Title I, and Coleraine Township.
With that, the superintendent recommends the board approve the consent items as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
For the job description, is that the one that's listed as a separate item?
Yes.
And that's a change to a current job,
Yes,
not a new posting?
correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, we can go ahead and vote on that. All right, and that passes without opposition.
Good evening. First, I'd like to ask the board to dispense with reading of and approve the November 10th regular board meeting minutes. And then tonight we have our October financial report. Our all funds balance is $116 million. Our general fund unreserved balance is $34 million. Our revenues year to date are at $49.3 million, or about 44% through the year. And our expenditures are $35.9 million, or at 31% for the year. So we're slightly below on expenditures and about halfway through for our revenue, as we've already collected the second half taxes. Our investment average rate of return was 4.07%. And our list of monthly bills, we have our routine monthly bills as well as the OFCC Segment 1 project for Coleraine Elementary. EMS is a new employee benefit alternative program for our employees. We have some security and access equipment, a gas line replacement. We replenished gym floors, fire and sprinkler inspections, restroom repairs, our annual audit and CAFR, Waycross, legal services, and some auxiliary and grant fund payments. So with that, I ask the board to approve the fiscal consent items as listed.
May I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? And that passes without opposition.
We have several other items for approval tonight. Last meeting, we had the course of study for the high school for next school year on there. This is the approval of that, and it allows us to continue moving with scheduling and getting kids registered for classes. So that is on there for approval. Superintendent recommends the board approve the program of studies as listed.
Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved. I'm sorry, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? And that passes without opposition.
Next, we have a revision to the 26-27 school year calendar. This is next year's school calendar. It's already been approved once by the board. This is a revision, and the revision to this calendar would be to incorporate the late starts that are required through the negotiated agreement with the teachers union into professional development days, so it doesn't have the 2-hour late start for families, and it would alleviate a lot of stress, I think, on our families and our schools to incorporate that into professional development days instead of having the additional burden of a 2-hour delay schedule. So the superintendent recommends the board approve the revised school year calendar for next school year as listed.
Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I know that's an important one for many people, so thank you for.
Yeah. And we'll keep that moving forward, that it'll be part of professional development days and not the early release or the late starts.
And that passes without opposition.
What's that first day of school for the kids next year? August?
It's mid-August. Next, we have an out-of-state field trip for Corning High School Marching Band. Superintendent recommends the board approve this. This was actually one that came in late, so the trip has already happened, but we didn't want to deny them an opportunity to participate in this event. So superintendent recommends the board approve the out-of-state field trip as listed.
Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? And that passes without opposition.
All right, next we have a resolution for purchasing roof repair services for Corning High School through our consortium. This would allow us to continue to move forward with repairing a section of the roof here that we have been experiencing leaks with for a while, and we're chasing that, so this would resolve that. Superintendent recommends the board approve the resolution to purchase roofing repair services for Corning High School through the OEEPC roofing and bidding envelope services contract as submitted.
Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have just one question, Daryl, just so the public understands the cost of doing business operating a school district. I believe you told us that the cost of that, and it was kind of surprisingly high.
Yeah, so just for the repair of a section of Corning High School, it was estimated to be $1.5 million. So once this is bidded, it came in less than that, but that was the initial estimate. So we're talking about significant needs of our district. We've talked about that multiple times over the years. Our facilities are aging, they have multiple needs, and it is a large burden for these old buildings to be able to maintain them and keep them up and running. And Chris, if you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, that's just one half of this upper roof.
So, yeah, so the needs of our buildings and facilities are great. We continue to try to manage those, but it is a huge undertaking to try to keep the buildings warm, safe, and dry without added frills.
And that passes without opposition.
And then lastly, there's a resolution. It's an amendment to our contract with OFCC. That is the state program that we're using to build segment 1 for Corrigan Elementary. This actually would remove the storm shelter allowance and reallocate that to infrastructure needs. So the superintendent recommends the board approve the resolution amendment for OFCC to remove the storm shelter allowance as listed.
Can you have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Any discussion? And that passes without opposition.
Next, we have a revised TIF agreement with Colerain Township. This is the Staberman Farms TIF agreement that the board approved on September 23rd of 2024. The township needs to revise this TIF agreement as some of the parcels are actually in Mount Healthy School District. So this revised TIF agreement is just to include Mount Healthy School District into the TIF agreement. It continues to be a make-whole and is the same plan that you already approved back in September of '24. So with that, I ask the board to approve the revised TIF agreement for the Staberman Farm TIF District.
I have a motion and a second.
Second?
Any discussion?
Amy, I did have one question, not about this, though. I see where they're tearing down the mall over there in Forest Park. Was there anything did they need to come to anybody, or what have they decided to do? Because I know part of our district is...
We already approved that agreement.
Refresh my memory on that again, and what they're putting up there.
They're moving the headquarters of
The Fasteners,
Hillman.
That's on the Hamilton Avenue?
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha,
They're
okay.
relocating and bringing their headquarters to the mall site.
Gotcha, okay. I couldn't remember when I went by there the other, I couldn't remember what was going in there. Okay, thanks.
All right, and that passes without opposition.
Next, we just have an item for information. This is the proposal for the 2026 board meeting dates for next calendar year. That would be approved at the organizational meeting in January.
What date is that organizational meeting?
January 5th.
Yeah. And 12th is the board work session.
All right, and then tonight, just a couple of items to remind people that obviously it's the holiday season, so there are a lot of concerts between now and next Friday, which is the last day before break. So I encourage people, it is a great way to see students' talent showcased in ways that will not only warm your heart, but also get you ready for the holiday spirit. Second, that brings us to winter break. That is coming up, so students are off. Next Friday is the last day with kids. They don't return until 1/5, January 5th. So we want to thank everyone for a great first semester, our staff, our parents, and our kids who were obviously celebrated here tonight. And speaking of celebration, we also want to recognize that tonight is Mark Gilbert's last board meeting. So after 2 terms on the board, Mark is moving on, and we want to just say, Mark, thank you. You were on the board when I was brought in as superintendent, and we have worked together since I've been here, so it's going to be weird being superintendent without you as someone who is a partner in the work that we're doing. And I think you, when I first took over superintendent said that, you know, it's a partnership and we are not always going to agree, but we're going to show people how to disagree without being disagreeable. And that has always stood with me, that you have been someone who has stood on principle, but has done so in a way that is a model of how to be a servant to a community. So with that, Amy and I in the district, and on behalf of the administration, the students, the staff, and the community that you have served, we have a small token of appreciation for you here. You are the legislative liaison, so you know how tight our budgets are because of the state. But wanted to just take a moment and say thank you for your incredible service and your partnership, and wish you nothing but the best moving forward.
Next up, we have nominations for chairperson for pro tempore. Do we have any nominations?
Yeah, I would like to nominate you, Nancy, for the meeting on January the 5th.
Second that.
Great. And do we have any other nominations?
Jim, did you vote?
It didn't come up.
Try refreshing.
What's that?
Try refreshing.
Hit next item. What did-
Refresh the browser.
There we go. Sorry.
And that passes with 4 approving and 1 abstaining. And then we have the Neola board policy update.
This was a policy that was asked to be on the agenda for discussion. It is a policy that is about commemoration of facilities.
Is there any discussion regarding that?
I would just share that I had spoke to Neola about this when it was discussed as far as how do you recognize someone, whether it be a monetary donation or perhaps the naming of a building. As many other districts in our area and throughout the state of Ohio are doing this. So I reached out and worked with Neola to understand the number of districts around us that do have it. And it's, you know, it can't hurt to have it on as a part of our policy in the case that in the future, one of our buildings, I mean, we do have several elementaries named after past people who've made an impact on the district. So I thought perhaps we should add it to our policy as well.
Do we have any board policy now that
We do
we
not.
can't do anything?
We do not currently have the policy, which they were actually surprised about because there's very few districts that do not have this policy in their books, according to Neola.
I think it's good to have the policy, but the policy they have is rather vague and nebulous. I think if we're going to add a policy, we probably should delineate it a little bit better. I have a couple examples that I've printed off from other districts with some of their delineation of what that all means. So I'll pass those out to you guys and when we can discuss it and vote on that another time. But I think just to provide or to prevent any problems in the future with people wanting to name a facility, which, you know, I think is a great thing to do, or to recognize people who have done great service, like when Daryl retires in 10 to 15 years, we'll name a building after him. Or if there's great donors that we want to name the facility after, but I think we need more guidelines than what that policy currently is.
Well, and I think a lot of our policies, you put the base policy in there, and perhaps you could add a line or two if there's something necessary, but you leave it up to the administration to present someone or, you know, for whatever reason, if someone's being recognized, that you don't want to put too much around it so that they can bring that to you if it came up. But I have seen the other policies. There are a few that have, you know, an extra line or two on it, but.
Yeah. And I think this is a good example, too, of why we might want to think about in January having some board committees so that we can look at these things. We get the Neola policy reviews, but it's just a change of a word here or there. So maybe we need to take a more thorough look if there's other things that we think need to be freshened up and more specific to our own district.
And if there are changes to the wording here or additional paragraphs or sentences that people want to add, if you get that to me, I can always work with our policy consultant to make sure that it's within the framework of that. There aren't legal references on this, so there's not a lot of laws that we have to follow, but we would at least run it by our policy consultant and then bring it back if there's revisions for additional views before the board votes on it. So it can be modified.
These aren't local, these are just.
No, these aren't local, but they're different districts. That I think some of them have some very good recommendations.
Okay, so there are changes. We can always bring it back with revisions for an additional reading conversation and then get it approved when the board agrees on what language should be in there.
So can we obviously look at these and talk about it at the next board meeting on the 5th?
It can be on as many times as you want to talk about it before you guys are comfortable and want to vote on it.
All right, any other discussion? All right, and we'll move to board member comments. We'll start with Jim.
I just want to thank Stephanie for her presentation for Butler Tech. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year that's coming up. And congratulations to all the athletes that were recognized tonight. And that's all I have.
All right, Chris.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I want to thank Mark for being a school board member for 8 years. It's not as easy as people think it is, but I appreciate his time and his effort for 8 years, which is a long time for a board member. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Chris?
I want to thank all of our students that came tonight. It showed what's going right with public education when you saw the smiling faces of the many students that we saw get their certificates tonight. So that was a very, very positive thing. Also want to thank Mr. Gilbert. Mark and I were very good friends at Talbert House. In fact, he was the guy that onboarded me.
Don't stop sharing that because it's part of my exit speech.
And Mark, I always thought you had one of the best sense of humors of anybody I knew. You could sometimes make people laugh just by, you know, just the facial grimacing that you would do. So I do wish you well, Mark. Sorry we hit some disagreements here towards the end, but I do wish you well. I think you're a good man, and hopefully you'll do well in your next endeavors.
Thank you, sir.
Nicole?
Yeah, I'd just like to also congratulate all the students that were here and recognize the families and staff that stayed late after working and being out all day. And just also thank our transportation department as we near our weather, delays in cold weather that they're out there braving road conditions and darkness and everything else to get our kids to and from school. And thank Butler Tech. Obviously, our teacher here was very passionate about financial services, and I hope he does well. And just thank Mark for a great 8 years together. He will be missed up here on the board and has made a definite impact on me as a board member and our students.
Thank you.
All right. And I would like to also congratulate all the students that were presented tonight and the wonderful job that they did. And one thing that really stuck out in my mind from Nicole's report was the Struble reading score. That was awesome, the 21% up to 81%. That's incredible. Good to hear that kind of results. I'm also appreciate the information from Butler Tech and all the support that the staff and administrators give to the students to let them continue to thrive and do such good work. And I would like to thank Mark, because from the very beginning, you've been a good friend. You reached out to me while I was campaigning and helped me. You've been a good mentor. And we've had some disagreements, but we managed to continue to communicate. And I'll miss you.
Thank you. She had to start crying.
Sorry.
I guess it's my turn. So Chris laid a good primer down for this. I actually interviewed Chris for a nurse practitioner job at Talbot House. And Chris, being the Northwest Local School District cheerleader that he is, the school board came up about his career, and we negotiated terms, and he said, "I'll take the job if you run for school board." This is the truth. This is all the truth. And so it was tongue-in-cheek, right? So we bring Chris on board, and we're talking months later, and he goes, "Hey, have you given any more thought to the school board?" And I said, "Chris, why would I ever run for school board? I don't know nothing about the school board." But I don't know, something kind of sparked in me. So I pulled several men from my church together, and I said, "Pray for this, about this for me." I said, "I don't want your opinion. I want what God is telling you." So obviously it was to run. So I got on and scared to death. I was scared to death. Had no idea what I was doing. I graduated in 1985, where they paddled you, and it was very different. So I come into a very progressive educational arena, and it was a shock. It was a shock. And the very first thing I did is I went to a band concert at Pleasant Run Middle School. And being high anxiety, and I'm sitting next to Chip from Waycross because I knew him. And so it looks like I was a Waycross guy. And there was a lady sitting next to me, and she was smiling, and kids were playing. And if you've been to middle school or elementary, there's an element of, other than it, you're being your kid, it's somewhat not entertaining because they're very new at what they're doing. So I asked the lady, I said, "Which one's yours?" And she points, she goes, "He's playing the trumpet." I said, "Oh." She goes, "Which one's yours?" I said, "All of them." I said, "I just got on the school board." That was a mindset I kept my whole board career. Your kid is my kid. So I tried to make the best decisions that I could. I look back, really don't have any regrets for any of the decisions I made. There's been knockdown, drag-out fights. Me and Daryl have went at it, fist to cuff. I've had long meetings with Amy about people unhappy about finance department, but you know, like Daryl said, at the end of it, it's all about the kids. And one of the things that kind of aggravates me is when we get caught up in the politics of education and we pull the string in our neck and say, it's all about the kids. Well, I challenge people to make sure that it is about the kids, and we don't get hung up on the politics of all this. Watching the kids tonight, all of my kids have, not all of them, I got 10 of them, I got 2. They've been on the stage many times. I was very fortunate that my kids were very successful by their experience here. Both of my kids, my daughter was Miss Colerain, my son was Mr. Colerain, and I attribute all of their success to the foundation that was laid in our school district. It's an eclectic school district. You get a sample of everything in society here. And my son is fast-tracking his career at Kroger. He's married, and we got a grandchild on the way that'll be here in like circa 4 weeks. My daughter is an educator. She's finishing up her degree with a dual certificate in middle school and intervention specialist. That was all inspired by all the educators that she experienced in her career here. I sent an email last Wednesday to the staff just to tell them thank you for the partnership that was given to me with them. When I started, we came into 3 new shiny schools. We enjoyed the tours. I'm like, how tough is this? Well, 2.5 years later, we have a pandemic, and the entire world came to a stop. And there were some really difficult conversations in that time. And we've had some really, really, really lows in our district too. When Tyler passed, he was in the class with my daughter. Just devastating. We lost staff. We've had teachers injured. All real stuff. And one of the things that I get aggravated about is people look at our district from afar and they think, well, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be doing this. Come volunteer. Come and see what happens. One of the things that I found out as we were doing this, a friend of mine was the principal here at Colerain High School, and he asked me if we had any resources at our church because he had a kid that needed some clothes, and I was trying to get that set up. But they went ahead and did a collection from the teachers in this building to get this student clothes. These are the things that go on every single day that people don't realize. It's a do what you can to take care of these kids. I volunteer on Wednesdays to do some tutoring at Pleasant Run Middle with Side by Side Ministries. And I was over there, and I had no idea that many of our schools have a food pantry. We feed our students' families because they don't have it. They have less than. I go to White Oak Christian Church. We did a food drive. We filled that pantry twice in 1 week with collections from there, literally filled their pantry. That's the value of community. And so when I ran on conservative values because I graduated in 1985, and it was pretty conservative then. But we've had times where we've had issues pop up that were, one side is black, one side is white, but I'm very proud of the compromise that we've made on some things. And it was the back and forth, but we found compromise, like genuine compromise. And I told Nicole when she was running, I said, we're not going to agree on things, but we'll show people how to disagree. We'll show them how it should be done. So all in all, I'm very, very appreciative. I've prayed for this school district. I can't even tell you. I will miss the district. So thank you for everybody that partnered with me. Thank you for you guys. I love and appreciate all of you.
Thank you very much, Mark, and rest assured, Bo, I'll pray for you. And in your next chapter of life, I'm sure you'll make just as great of an impact as you had here. And I'm sure you'll be a wonderful grandfather to that little baby that's coming soon.
Thank you.
And can we get a motion and a second to adjourn?
So moved.
Yours didn't come up, you might have to speak again. There we go. All right, and that passes without opposition, and the meeting is adjourned.